Rollo says that negotiated desire only ever leads to obligated compliance. We're going live.
No. We'll do it live.
This is the Come On Man podcast. And here's your host, Paul Bauer.
Good morning, gents. It's Wednesday already. What's the haps with you guys? It's good to be live again, man. As you all know, I went to my friend's wedding in Modesto, California over the weekend with Nurse Chick. Check this out, guys. Check this out. Look at this. Look at this. I posted this on social media. I clean up okay. Look at that. Look at that sport coat. Look at that belt buckle. Just pro tip, guys, for you guys living out in Cal Country, just get like a good, just the best pair of jeans, you know, like a clean pair of jeans that you like never wash. You only wear it on special occasions. It's like your fancy jeans. And then you get a nice belt buckle, and then throw on a sport coat with a nice, nice dress up shirt, some like your best cowboy boots. There you go, man. There you go. Now you're all gussied up for a night out on the town. I have two sport coats so that, you know, I don't look like I'm wearing the same thing all the time, but there's literally no place to ever dress up out here. Nurse Chick always wants to dress up, and she has these like really long, like ball gowns, and there's no place to wear them, but she always wants to go out to fancy places. So I got myself some sport coats so that we could go do stuff like that. And then if I have to go to a wedding or something to try to talk someone out of it, I have something to wear. I hate wearing ties though. Hate wearing ties. And then check this one out. This here is Nurse Chick and I. Here you go. See the heart eyes emojis because she's madly in love with me. She has that genuine desire. That's what we're going to be talking about today. Genuine desire versus obligated compliance. That's how she looks all the time with her heart eye emojis. So anyway, that was us. That was us this weekend. I've had people say, "Hey, were you able to save your friend? Were you able to talk him out of it?" No, unfortunately, he didn't want to be saved. You can't red pill people who don't want to be red pilled, you know, like they have to want the information. So, you know, someone goes and gets married, their second marriage, and they think it's going to be better this time than it was last time for whatever reason, and they've done absolutely no work. Well, best of luck, man. You're gonna have to learn the hard way. I hope for the best, though. I hope for the best. All right, that's what we're talking about. We're going to be talking about this sort of today a little bit, right? We're going to be talking about a section in my good friend Rian Stone's book, Dread, right? If you guys haven't read this book yet, highly recommend it. Read the first one first, though, Frame. Praxeology Volume 1, Frame. Read that one first, and then read this one, because this one's all about basically you're in a relationship, your girlfriend or your wife has been taking you for granted, and it's all about learning how to not be taken for granted anymore, right? It's also about learning how to be attractive and not be unattractive, which is, you know, a very key concept here in the space. But there's a section in the book, and that's what we're going to be talking about today, that I thought would make for a compelling episode. It's all about how negotiated desire only ever leads to obligated compliance. And what he did was he took something that Rollo said once in a blog article back in 2011. I think it's in the original Rational Male book too. And then he tied it in with an article from my man Archwinger to make a very good point, which we'll get into today. Before we go down this rabbit hole, though, why don't you guys please like, subscribe, hit those notifications? We got quite a few viewers for a Wednesday morning. That's good. And since we have all these viewers, please sound off in the live today. I want to hear your comments on that. That helps these go by much smoother, helps boost us in the algorithm, all the fun things. If you guys are watching the replay after this is done, drop a comment below, your favorite emoji. Doesn't really matter. All that sort of stuff boosts us in the algorithm. And then please don't be stingy with the super chats, guys. Don't be stingy with the super chats. All right. We got a whole bunch of people in the in the comments today already. Oh, and we have a super chat already. We'll wait until the 8-minute mark for that one. We have Nurse Chick. She says, happy hump day. That's her favorite day. Nathan says, smash that like button. Oh, hey, Archwinger, the man himself. He says, this one should be fun. I legit enjoy Dread. I usually hate everyone's books. That's fair. That's fair. It's like when you're like one of the guys who came up with a lot of the key concepts of the space, you're like, look, everyone else's stuff is bullshit. Oh, Deeper Curds dropped some beer there because he's a beer club member here. We've got Nukes in the house. Hello, yes. Paul is our relatable Justin Waller. That's right. I'm a relatable Justin Waller. All right. Okay. Oh, and Brother Ed said a $5 super chat. We'll get to that here after the 8-minute mark, so we can play the sound bites. Okay, guys. So Rollo wrote this article back in 2011 called "The Desire Dynamic." I'll drop a link to that here in the chat so you guys can read it yourselves. But you guys have probably heard it being said, right? You want a woman that has genuine desire this, genuine desire that. Rich Cooper talks about it. A woman who has genuine burning desire. Comes from this post. Okay. So this is really where we get the concept of genuine desire in the red pill space. So one of the, we'll go through some of the key concepts here in this article. So the first one is that desire cannot be negotiated. All right. The central theme of this article is the idea that genuine desire cannot be negotiated or coerced. It's emphasized that attempting to negotiate desire, especially in the context of a romantic or sexual relationship, leads to only superficial compliance rather than genuine passion. This is why chore play doesn't work. What's chore play, Paul? I'm glad you asked, anonymous person. This is where, your girl says, I might put out more if you help me out with the dishes, right? I could really use some help around the house. That's probably why I have a headache all the time. So if you just help lighten this load a little bit, right? And then next thing you know, you're doing all the chores around the house. She's just, going through her Instagram and stuff like that. And you're like, okay, I did all the work you asked me to do. Can I have to sex now? Can I have the sex? And she's like, I really appreciate him for doing all that stuff. But you know what? I still am just not having my skirt blown up. I don't know what it is. Right. Now, she may still put out if you do the dishes. Right. And she might, but she's only going through the motions. Right. It's so funny, too, because I put out this funny clip. I think I don't know who sent it to me. Someone sent it to me. It was a clip of this girl, riding. It's from some movie, and she's riding on like a horse, one of those like penny horses at the supermarket, and it says and then the next one is a chick bull riding, right? I don't know, a mechanical bull just having the time of her life. It's like the difference between a chick who's just doing it because you asked her to and a chick who's doing it because she wants to, right? So I reposted that on social media as this is the difference between obligated compliance and genuine desire. And I had guys in the comments on Facebook. Yes, Jennifer Connolly. Thank you, Mr. Mike Steele. And I had guys in the comments on Facebook when I posted that going, I'll take either way. I'll take whatever I can get. Right. And it's like, bro, that's where a lot of guys are, right? They'll take it however they could get it, right? They don't have any kind of, I don't know, discernment for what's good or what's not. And then next thing you know, they end up in a divorce and they're like, what happened? I thought everything was good. She was having sex with me. Because she had to. Right? She felt like she had to. That she didn't want to, bro. In fact, you probably repulsed her. You know what I mean? She's just going through the motions. She didn't actually want to have sex. You see what I'm saying here? Let's get to these super chats here. So Brother Nathan, $2 calls me a damn bot. Yeah, yesterday I sent a message to one of my clients, and I think it's how I sent it, right? Because he asked me for he's going through the dating course. Okay. He's going through the dating course And he's got some girls that are starting to follow him back on Instagram because I teach Instagram and Facebook game in the course. And then he says to me, I need some help with these openers. And I was like, what? Like, I give you an example of the opener you use on social media in the course. Like, just go back and watch that. But he is a client. So I said, look, do what I said in the course. And then I wrote out basically the script that you use to open on social media. And when I did that, I mean, the script is you want to use the girl's name, right? So it's like, hey, so-and-so. So I literally put like, hey, and I put like in parentheses, hey, insert name, this is Paul, your random Instagram friend or whatever. And that, I think that they had some kind of algorithm that caught that and thought I was sending spam messages to people. I got all temporarily blocked on Telegram for being a bot. So that's what, long story, but that's what this reference is. And thanks for the $2 super chat, you son of a bitch. And then we got brother Ed with a $5 super chat. Oh, actually, hold on. Let's go back to this son of a bitch. And then we got to give him, let's see here.
Damn, that's a cold ass honky.
Damn, that's a cold ass honky for that comment. And then we've got Ed with a $5 super chat. Great episode. Welcome back. You know why he's here. He's here for this.
Shame this horse.
Yes, we've got to shame these whores. Oh, yes. Every unhappy wife is a victim. We'll get to that here in a minute. That's a concept from Archwinger here. All right, so the next concept is loss of genuine desire, right? So Rollo's article highlights how many relationships experience a decline in genuine desire over time, especially as familiarity sets in. This loss of passion prompts individuals, primarily men in this context, to seek ways to reignite that initial spark, often resorting to negotiation tactics. Dr. Robert Glover in his book, Dating Essentials for Men, refers to that as fusion, right? When you spend so much time with someone, your personalities start to fuse a little bit, and you stop becoming the person that got you there in the first place, that attracted the other person. And so it's good to make sure that you're introducing space in your relationships, because that helps with that. You know what I mean? Because familiarity, breeds contempt, and space is where attraction grows. Attraction grows in space. So anyway, so guys often resort to negotiation tactics, right? What do most guys start doing? They start buying their girls flowers. They start buying their girls gifts, stuff like that, right? Taking her to fancy dinners, but only when she complains about it, right? They're not actually out there planning dates and trying to do fun stuff with their girl on a regular basis. They normally come home, right? They work 10 hours a day, come home, crack open a beer, try to have sex with their girl. She has a headache or whatever. They go to bed, they get up in the morning, do the same thing, go to work, just come home, drink beer, watch TV, watch sports, play video games, whatever they do, but they're not taking their girl out. They're not keeping the relationship active. They're not leading the relationship, right? They're just sort of letting the relationship happen to them. And every night their girl's got a headache. It's weird. But then she bitches about it. Like, why don't we ever do anything anymore? Right? Why don't we do anything anymore? And so he's like, fine, Martha. I'll take you out. I'll take you out to dinner. Right? Ends up being bribes for sex. Right? Ends up being bribes for sex. And your wife or girlfriend, she's not stupid. She knows exactly what you're doing, right? She knows what you're trying to do, but none of it is turning her on, right? Because you don't want to be there. You don't want to take her out. It's the same thing, right? She doesn't want to have sex with you. She's just going through the motions. You don't want to take her out on a real date. So you're just going through the motions, right? You guys have lost genuine desire. Guys, before we get too far into this, let's be sure to follow me on social media. The links are in the description. Get on the email list, guys. list.comeonmanpod.com. I'll send you some free stickers. If you don't want stickers, just put "don't want stickers" in the address field, and I won't waste stamps on you. Don't give me a fake address. Okay. It's okay. If you don't want me to have your address, you don't want the stickers, just don't want stickers. No problem. But you also get 20 dating app openers that are guaranteed to capture a woman's attention in the first 7 words. If you guys are in a relationship and you don't need the 20 dating app openers yet, you guys also get a free chapter of my book. Man, it's buried under all my stuff here. Everything I wish I knew when I was 18. Get a free chapter of that too when you sign up for the email list. And then let's see here. What are we going to plug today? Let's plug speaking of the book, let's watch a commercial for the book. We haven't plugged that in a while. And then we'll get back to the topic at hand today. Life is a journey filled with twists and turns. Why is it that essential life lessons aren't taught in school? You probably know that the mitochondria is the powerhouse of the cell, but do you know how to invest in a Roth IRA? We're not taught to build ourselves mentally, physically, and spiritually. The roadmap to success is more than just a college degree. You don't have to follow the traditional route. Success isn't confined to a classroom. It's about discovering your own path. You ever wish that someone handed you a guidebook to life when you were 18? Well, it's never too late to rewrite your story. Everything I wish I knew when I was 18. Advice for young men to create a great life for themselves. This book is your compass, guiding you to pick the right career, how to invest wisely, and how to prepare for a fulfilling future. To take control of your health and your fitness. Learn how to date efficiently and find genuine desire. And master the art of leading healthy relationships. Your path is defined by the choices you make, not by others' expectations. Don't wait until you're 35 to unlock your potential. Order your copy now on Amazon. Rewrite your story. Build the life you deserve. All right. So let's talk about what we got here. We have some comments here. Yes, Mike says, which ultimately leads to resentment. Who wants to have obligation sex? Oh, yeah. Yep. Let's see here. More Perel, less Gottman. Let's see here. Let's see. In my opinion, this is why LTR date night is important. I don't think it's good to schedule date nights. I think that's a terrible idea because let's say you say every Thursday night is date night, right? Hey, it's Thursday night. Let's go fucking to Chili's or whatever. It gets predictable, which becomes boring, right? It's not spontaneous enough. You know, you got to keep your girl on her toes. You got to keep her guessing. You know, that helps with that a lot. Poor Tim here says I plan dates and still got the boot. You know, you can. My man Archwinger said it best. I had him on the show, God, a couple of months ago now, I think, and he said red pill is like counting cards. You know, you can it'll help, right? It'll help better. It's more of a better strategy, more of a winning. You'll win more times than you will with the blue pill strategy, but you can still do everything right, and she still might leave. So you know, happens. My man says, I need a list of 20 leg openers. Hey, that's on you, man. That's on you. I could get your foot in the door, but you got to open the door. You know what? And by door, I mean, you got to put the Riz on. Okay. So then we have the next key concept here is negotiated desire versus genuine desire. So a clear distinction is drawn between negotiated desire, where one party complies out of obligation or expectation, and genuine desire, which arises spontaneously, and without coercion. The former results in lackluster experiences and frustration, while the latter leads to more fulfilling connections. Is she banging you because she has to or because she wants to? Right? That's the question. Is she even turned on by you? Right? My man Tim, he planned date nights, but was she turned on by him? You know what I mean? I don't know. So Rollo talks about how a big problem guys have is asking their wife or girl what they could be doing better to get her to have sex, right? Honey, what can I be doing better to get you to put out? For men, this is where our logical brain gets us into trouble, right? Because men see this as a simple equation to solve, right? I need sex, plus women have the sex I want, plus ask women about their conditions for sex, plus meet her prerequisites for sex equals I get the sex that I want, right? That's not how the math works. It's the math's not mathing, as Nurse Chick says. Okay. That's just not how women work, right? They may capitulate, but they not because they really want to, right? Because you ask them, hey, honey, what can I do to get the sex? And she goes, you can clean the gutters and do the dishes and, help me with the baby and whatever. And so you go, okay, honey, I did all that. I checked off this list. And she's like, oh, fuck. He did check off the list. I guess I'll put out now. Right? So she's capitulating, but she doesn't really want to, right? So the next concept is unintended consequences of negotiation, right? So the article discusses how attempts to negotiate desire, whether through gestures, promises, or therapy, often backfire, leaving both parties dissatisfied. It suggests that negotiate desire creates a sense of obligation rather than fostering authentic passion. Hey, good morning, Mike Farrow. What's going on, man? What's Archwinger say? It's not about the date itself, like checking off your list that you're still dating your wife. It's about engagement and emotions. Yes. It's what you did to get to the show, man. What did you do? You put on that Riz. You made her feel something. That's what got you into the relationship in the first place. You got to keep doing that shit, man. You got to keep doing that shit. Can't just go through the motions like she's going through the motions with the sex stuff, right? Okay, so unintended consequences. So one of these consequences is she feels worse for not having the desire after such efforts were made for her compliance, right? Like I said before, she gives you a checklist to do. You do the checklist to get the sex. And now she's like, oh shit, he did the checklist. Fuck. I guess I gotta put out now. Right. But she feels bad. She feels bad that she doesn't want to put out anymore. She's not turned on by you. She doesn't even know why. Right? And then women, they go and they follow the love languages, right? They're trying to fix the relationship because women are sort of hardwired to want a relationship. So they're like, I'm not turned on by him anymore. How can I fix this? How can I reintroduce magic back into the relationship? So they go read fucking love languages or they go listen to fucking Oprah, right? For ideas on how to get the spark back. And women give terrible advice, right? So they're listening to Oprah and Oprah's giving just absolutely shit advice. So then they try the chore play thing out, only to find out it didn't fix the root cause, right? He did all the stuff I asked him to do, but I'm still not turned on. It didn't fix the problem, okay? The root cause being they've lost attraction. They've lost attraction and that general desire, okay? And then they feel bad about it because they shouldn't, and I put in quotes, parentheses, or quotes here. They shouldn't feel that way, right? Right? We're supposed to, till death do us part and live happily ever after and love each other forever. And so I shouldn't be feeling this way. Why do I feel this way? Right? But the thing is, Rollo points out in his article, he points it out in a different article, but he's talking about the same thing. He points this out. Also, David D'Angelo says this too, right? But attraction isn't a choice. Okay. But Rollo also adds, neither is arousal. Attraction and arousal aren't a choice. Okay. She was attracted to you for whatever reason, and you've lost that. You've lost your attractiveness, right? And doing chore play is neither attractive nor arousing. Okay. I don't care what these old hags on the internet say. Okay. A guy mopping the floor is not fucking making her pussy wet. It's not. Okay. What do we got? What does Archwinger say? When she doesn't feel the way she's supposed to, it reinforces for her that she's in the wrong marriage. Ping that feeling enough and it's divorce time. Exactly. God damn that fucking Archwinger. Fucking genius. So then he talks about provoking genuine desire, right? Rather than attempting to negotiate desire overtly, the article suggests that genuine desire is best provoked covertly. It advocates for creating an environment where the other person feels motivated to please you willingly without feeling pressured or obligated, right? Now, this is where Ryan's book comes in. Okay? This is where Dreg comes in and why we must take actions covertly. Okay. Essentially, we need to lead her to come to the conclusion on her own that you're a high value man, that you're still an attractive man with options. Okay. And she starts seeking out validational sex from you, not only to keep you, but to please you, and because you're starting to be the man that turned her on originally. Okay. She actually wants to put out now. You're making her like Archwinger said, right? You're giving her the feelings again, right? You're making her feel things. So she wants that validation sex from you, not the obligation sex, right? All right, we've got, let me see here. We've done this super chat. Let's unmark that. Let's unmark that. Mike Steele's got a $5 super chat. Here's how to see obligated compliance from her point of view. Imagine an ugly whale doing things for you so you'll smash her. There you go, guys. There you go. That's the way to look at that. I'm going to give him this one.
I was just going to say it. This guy fucks. Am I right?
Yes, Mike Steele definitely fucks. And then Mike Farrow with a $2 Canadian. He gets this one here. Let's see here. We're going to give him this one.
Respect the cock and tame the cunt.
Yes. God damn it. All right, guys. Both those guys, if you did not know, are in the beer club. Join the beer club, guys. beer.comeonmanpod.com. We have a second meetup tomorrow night, 7 p.m. Eastern time. You can, if you join for a year, it's only $8 a month. It's a good group of dudes, very active, good group of dudes. It's a very active community on Telegram. Guys are in there chatting all the time. In fact, there's times where I'm out jogging, right? I'm trying to listen to an audiobook or a podcast. And these guys are just, in the fucking chat. And I just keep getting notifications, ba-ding, 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 right? Which keeps interrupting the playing of the audiobook. And so I'm like, God damn it. So I have to go into Telegram and put the chat on mute for like an hour, just so I can get through my run, so I can listen to an audiobook smoothly without constant interruptions. Because for whatever reason, my phone, it doesn't keep playing the audiobook. It pauses the audiobook to play the fucking notification sound. And then it waits a couple of seconds and then it starts back up like 3 seconds beforehand. And I'm just like, I can't get past a certain place because these guys are having a very, intricate conversation. So anyway, it's a very active community, long story short. And then we typically only meet up once a month, but one of the brothers in the group said, hey man, I want to host a second meetup this month. I was like, go for it, bro. So they're doing that tomorrow night at 7 p.m. Eastern time. And then finally, guys, if you want to work with me one-on-one, coaching's available. If you go to coaching.comeonmanpod.com, that'll take you to my coaching page now on Gumroad. Watch the video there. See if what I'm offering is a good fit for you. If it is, let's work together. Okay. If you just want to talk to me just to get a better feel for it, you could also book a free call with me on that page as well. We could talk for about 30 minutes, see what your problem's all about, see if working with me would be a good fit for you. Okay. All right. So let's get into my man Archwinger's article. So Archwinger, he's in the chat. Say hi to Archwinger, everybody. Guy's a fucking legend. Okay. Check out this article here. So this article is every unhappy wife is a gRape victim. I have to say that because we can't be adults on YouTube. In fact, I had to, in the description of the video, I had to use a URL shortener to put this in there so that it didn't have the word gRape in it. So I don't get demonetized on YouTube for the link. But anyway, there's the link in the chat there. So this is a really good article because it lets us see things from the woman's perspective a little better, in my opinion, right? So the first concept here is consent and gRape definitions. Okay. So Archwinger delves into the debate surrounding the definition of gRape and consent. It critiques the notion of enthusiastic consent laws, arguing that they require almost over-the-top level of excitement and ongoing verbal affirmation during sexual encounters, potentially broadening the definition of gRape to include instances where individuals may have agreed to sex but didn't truly want it, right? So sometimes women are claiming gRape because they originally did consent, but later they regretted it, right? You've heard that. You've also probably seen people say regret isn't gRape, right? Hey, yeah, see Archwinger's in the chat there. But grapes, yes, we can't be adults here. It's stupid. So by definition, if your wife or girlfriend is having obligatory sex with you, but they don't really want it, then Archwinger argues she's essentially probably feels like a gRape victim. She probably does, right? He says it's basically defined as sex I may have agreed to, but didn't really want and kind of felt coerced into. All right. Does that sound like pretty much what we've been talking about so far? Right? Doesn't that pretty much sound like every wife who has made it past the 7-year mark in a marriage? What's that? Only give her the tip until she gives enthusiastic consent. I don't think that's how that works, man. I don't think that's how that works. So she puts out because she's supposed to, or maybe her husband bugged her about it long enough, but she doesn't really want to, right? So she schedules sexy time every other Thursday. What do you guys think about that? Does that sound familiar to any of you guys? Any of you guys that were once married? Does that maybe we'll have sex every other Thursday, right? And then they start telling you shit like, oh, well, no, it's normal to stop having so much sex in a relationship. It's normal. Like as people, grow together, they have less sex. Like that's normal, right? That's normal. And then you become best friends, right? You guys play fucking cribbage together and shit, but you guys aren't putting out. So the next concept in Archwinger's article is unsatisfying marriages and sexual dynamics. So he discusses the prevalence of unhappy marriages where the wife, often described as nagging, overweight, or emasculating, reluctantly engages in infrequent sex to maintain the relationship. And this dynamic is described as duty sex, where the wife feels pressured to have sex despite not wanting to. All right. We talked about this when going through Rollo's post, but this is often, like stuff like chore play comes in and, scheduled sex nights and shit like that. Right. Well, how do I make it so that she desires sex more frequently with me? Well, you become an attractive guy. That's how that works, man. We'll talk about that here at the end, Ethan. Coerced sex in marriage, right? So Archwinger's post suggests that women in unhappy marriages may feel coerced into having sex with their husbands due to perceived threats to their financial stability or stability of their children. It draws parallels between these situations and gRape, highlighting the psychological toll of unwanted sexual encounters within the marriage, right? So Archwinger argues that, a lot of times women are doing it. They're having the obligation sex to try to keep the marriage intact, right? Keep a roof over her head, keep the paychecks coming in, right? Keep food on the table for the kids, right? But she doesn't want to do it. She doesn't want to do that stuff, right? So they put out reluctantly, but more times than not, they have a headache. They pretend to be asleep, pretend to be on their period. They pretend to not feel good. Oh, I have stomach problems. I can't do it. Right. And then they finally give in to shut their whining husbands up. Right. Their husbands start, Ryan talks about in the book where the guys are like, either fuck me or fuck you, bitch. Right. So they're like, oh, fine. Looking at their watch while they're getting their husband's basically using them as a to masturbate. Perceptions of coerced sex, right? So this is the last concept here. It discusses how women may perceive consensual but coerced sex as akin to gRape, especially in scenarios where they feel pressured or threatened into engaging in sexual activity. The post argues that a lack of genuine enthusiasm for sex, even if consent is verbally given, can be perceived as gRape in the eyes of some feminists and individuals. So Archwinger in the article says he couldn't find any studies to support this, but he was willing to bet that a lot of women exhibit the same psychological traumas as gRape victims. Haven't you guys noticed that every girl that it gets out of a relationship, they were emotionally abused these days? Every chick was like their ex was emotionally abusive, huh? Right? Have you noticed that? And they've really broadened the definition of abuse these days, haven't they? It's sad. John Egan with $5 super chat says, beer club notifications are a good annoyance. I have to do me, then myself sometimes. Yeah. And then hold on. He says, let me give this because he sent two of these. So we're going to give him this one.
There is an epidemic of gold digging whores in this country.
There is an epidemic of gold digging whores in this country. And then he says, edited beer club notifications are a good annoyance. I have to mute them myself sometimes. Yes. Okay. You got to stop doing the voice to text. It's fucking trash. I'm going to give him this one here.
Talking about whores, people. They're everywhere.
They're everywhere. All right. So Archwinger says that real gRape victims often act out sexually and go on fucking sprees. And he says that therapists call this reclaiming their sexuality. And he says we see wives do this too when they go out on girls' nights or girls' only trips and they end up, fucking some strange dude or whatever, right? They're trying to reclaim their sexuality. They end up cheating on their husbands and stuff like that. You see a lot of that in this space, right? Where the girls are going out cheating all the time. And you find out like, wait, women cheat all the time? Like, yeah, they do. It's crazy. What's the drink today? We have Orange Slice C4 Energy. That's what we're drinking today. All right. So that was those were Rollo's posts and Archwinger's posts, right? So they're both related. They're both talking about negotiated desire versus obligated compliance, right? So let's talk about how Rian ties it all together in Dread. All right, this should answer Ethan's question of, well, how do I make it so that she desires sex more frequently, right? Voice to text got me $5 extra today. Yes. Okay. Yeah. Keep using it then, John. All right. So Brian argues that you can't negotiate desire to fix your relationship. We've already talked about that. Trying to negotiate only leads to obligatory compliance, which probably makes your girl feel like a gRape victim, which we learned from Archwinger's article. And this is one of the reasons why communication is not the key to healthy relationships, right? You often hear that, especially from women, right? But it's so mainstream that, oh, you know what? It's all about communication, guys. It's all about that communication, right? But you go to your girl and say, look, honey, you're not putting out. I need to know what's going on. What's going on? And she's like, I just really feel like you need, you got to do the dishes more. Like, they don't even know. They don't even know why they're feeling the way they're feeling. So how are they supposed to verbalize it? You know what I mean? So communication is not the key. Okay. You can't talk about it. You've got to be about it, right? Like Rollo says, you got to demonstrate, not explicate. Okay. You have to work on being attractive and less unattractive to get her to want to have sex with you, Ethan. What does that mean? Be attractive, less unattractive, right? Hold on. What's Green Figure say? What do we think of Corey Wayne? Didn't text a girl for 4 days after the date. She agreed to a second date, but on the day she ghosted me. So I am a big fan of Corey Wayne, How to Be a 3% Man, but what he describes in his book on what to do after a date isn't effective. I didn't find it to be effective. If I believe I talk about it in my book, though. But what I found to be the sweet spot, Scream Fingers, is if you had a good date with her and you went in for a kiss and everything was hunky-dory, don't text her all day the next day until about 6 p.m. around, the time you get off work or so. And then reach out to her to let her know, hey, just want you to know I had a good time. Then get the fuck off the phone. Okay. But if you just basically ghost her for 4 days, she thinks that you're not interested. Okay. So I think Corey's book is wrong with that. But if you let her wonder about you all day the next day, it does build up enough of that heat, that healthy emotional anticipation and tension. And then you finally release that at 6 p.m. by letting her know, hey, just want you to know I had a good time, right? That gives her a dopamine hit. Then you wait about 2 to 3 days to reach out again to set the next definite date. That's that I found that to work much better than what Corey recommends. But otherwise, Corey's book is great. Let's see here. Okay. So you gotta be what do we say here? Don't talk about it, be about it, demonstrate, don't explicate. You have to work on being attractive and less unattractive to get her to want to have sex with you again. So what does that mean, right? Be attractive, right? Get back in shape. There's a reason why it's so prevalent in this space to talk about hitting the gym. You got to go back to the gym, bro. Got to go back to the gym because most y'all probably were hitting the gym, you guys, when you were single, just like you're doing now, right? You find yourself fucking single again. You're like, oh God, now I'm back on the dating circuit. I got to make myself attractive again. So you start hitting the gym. Then you get into a relationship. You stop doing all that shit. You start getting lazy. You start getting complacent. Okay. Got to get back to where you were in the beginning, which was a fucking hulking mass of man meat. Okay. So hit the gym. Now I've been putting out like shorts lately about how you don't actually have to go to an actual gym to get back in shape. Okay. I'm going to be releasing a mini course on this here coming soon on just diet and fitness basics. I do have a whole chapter of that in my book. So get the book if you haven't read my book yet. But you're going to want to get back in shape. Okay. And then this time, stay in shape. All right. Don't get complacent. There was a guy in the 3% Brotherhood, I think last night, he wrote, I'm getting back to the gym. Why'd you stop? Why'd you stop? All right. There was another guy saying, I'm trying to get back to the gym this year. What do you mean you're trying? We're already almost in March, right? Fuck it, do or don't. You either get back to the gym or you don't. Okay. You either start working out and make it a fucking habit, and you start having some discipline with that. Okay. You can't wait to be motivated to go to the gym. You have to do it because you're disciplined. Like, this is what I fucking do Monday through Friday. Boom, boom, boom. Okay. You got to get to that point. You got to make it a habit, a good habit. Okay. Get back in shape. You're going to want to start dressing better. Okay. A lot of guys, they dress for comfort, not for style. Okay. You got to start dressing for style. All right. Even if you're a t-shirt and jeans guy, wear form-fitting fucking shirts, right? Shirts that fit your frame well. Okay. Wear pants that fit. Don't be wearing sweatpants everywhere. I can't stand it, dude. I cannot fucking stand when I'm out in public and I see men or women walking around in fucking sweats or fucking pajama pants. Like, what are you doing? You know, this isn't Sunday lounge day. You're in public. Fucking have some self-respect. Wear some people clothes, right? Wear some adult clothes, for fuck's sakes. So dress better. Start wearing cologne again, right? Maybe start smelling better. Get a fucking haircut, right? So many guys look like they escaped a fucking cage. What are you doing? Get haircuts regularly, all right? Trim your beard, right? You know, if you have a long beard, go to a barber and have them fucking trim your beard every couple of weeks, okay? Like, spend the money. Take some pride in your appearance, okay? So that's be attractive. Don't be unattractive. This is all about your demeanor, your tone, how you act, okay? So you gotta learn how to set the tone and lead. A lot of guys find themselves in a relationship and they start deferring to their girl's authority. Well, I don't want her to get mad at me. Right there, you're operating in her frame. Well, I don't want her to get upset because I picked the wrong restaurant. Whose frame are you operating in? Hers. Right? Women don't want that. They don't want to be in charge of the relationship. Okay. They want to relax in their feminine, show up looking hot, and they want you to take control. All right. Give me the most staunch feminist in the world who's like, I don't need no man. And you give her the right guy that sets the tone and lead, she'll fucking melt into submission. All right. So you need to learn how to set the tone and lead, right? You need to learn how to handle her shit tests, right? All women test men, either consciously or subconsciously. You can't avoid it. And a lot of guys are like, oh, if she shit tests me, I'm going to next her. Okay. But the next girl's going to do it too, man. So you got to learn how to do this. You can't avoid it. Okay. Now, some women will test you less than others if they have high attraction for you. Okay. But they're still going to test you. Okay. And I had one of my 3% brothers on the podcast. He said it really well. He says it's only a test if you fail it too, because a lot of times their test is subconscious, right? So if you pass her test, she doesn't even realize she was testing you. Okay. But she knows it when you fail it. All right. So you got to learn how to spot this kind of shit, right? Spot how women test you and how to handle that stuff. It's predictable. Once you learn how to do it, it's predictable, and it's kind of funny and cute. A lot of guys get annoyed by it, but if you're getting annoyed by it, like you need to work on your frame a little bit. You need to work on your emotional control a little bit. But it's actually kind of funny. And when they do it and you playfully fucking sideswipe it and it's like no big deal, that builds attraction for you. Like she's like, oh, I like this guy, right? That kind of stuff builds attraction and it keeps attraction going long term. Okay. Another part of don't be unattractive is fixing your frame. Read Ryan's first book. So this is Praxeology Volume 2. Get Praxeology Volume 1 frame, right? Ryan talks about how to develop your frame. Okay. And it's a very good book. Very good book. One of the pillars in your frame is what I said in the be attractive part, right? Which is get back in shape. There's a physical pillar to frame. And if any one of your pillars is weak, your frame's gonna collapse. Okay. So you got to strengthen all the pillars that lead up to your vision. All right. You got to learn how to be decisive and assertive. Women like guys who are decisive and assertive, right? And I love using the analogy of picking a restaurant, right? Because that's always the biggest fight. And there's all these memes about there, like, oh, someone dropped it in the beer club chat, a picture of this like Down syndrome girl, and it's like women when you ask them where they want to eat for dinner, that's because women they don't want to make decisions, right? So you've got to be the guy that just picks a place. Honey, we're going to Sizzler tonight, right? I'm just throwing that out there. Hey, honey, I want steak. We're going to Sizzlers tonight. 99.9% of the time, your girl's going to go, okay, sounds good. Okay. Now, if she says, oh, I don't like that place. Okay. Well, do you have a better suggestion? Well, no. Okay. Well, I'm going to Sizzler. You're welcome to join me. Right. That's how you handle that. Right. You're being decisive and assertive, and they like that. It's a show of strength, and women respond to strength. Okay. Stuff like that, guys. All right. That's all we got for this episode. Guys, I highly recommend Ryan's books. Okay. His first book is called Fuck Files, and it's a fun book. It's a real fun book. It's more autobiographical though, but Praxeology Volume 1 and 2 have really good actionable information in it. So I highly recommend both books. I'm almost done with this book. When it comes to paperbacks, it takes me forever to get through these. I listen to audiobooks much faster than physical books, but sometimes I just got to force myself to sit down and read that shit. And Ryan's book is really good. Lucky Nurse Chick gets Sizzler tonight. That's right. Actually, so Nurse Chick, I'll tell you guys how this works with Nurse Chick and I. So she knows that I'll just pick a place, and she's happy to go, wherever I pick. We've never once had an argument about this, but she also knows that I will pick a place. And if she doesn't speak up, she's not going to get what she wants. So if she ever does want to eat at a specific place, she just speaks up. She just goes, I was thinking about this tonight. What do you think about this? And I'm like, yeah, sounds good. Right. Cause I don't care. I don't care either. Right. And then also she cooks for me all the time. So she usually comes over here with a pre-prepared menu for every night. So I don't have to think about it. But if she didn't, and I knew she didn't, I would just pick a place. Right. I've gotten to that point where I just realized, hey, you always get to eat what you want if you just pick a place. It's amazing. Right. And so most of the time we don't care what we want to eat. So it's like, well, then why would it matter if I just picked a place? So I just pick one, right? It actually becomes easier. And you're like, holy shit, my life is so much easier with this, right? All right, guys. Hey, thank you for all you do. No, thank you, Austin. Appreciate you. All right. Guys, tune into the live stream Friday. I'll be continuing my series on the science of getting rich. We're on chapter 13, which is all about getting into the right business. All right. Do we have any more super chats? No, we don't have any more super. Thanks for the super chats today, guys. All right. If you guys haven't done so already, please like, subscribe, hit those notifications. And thank you for everybody that sounded off in the live chat today. I appreciate it. I go live every Wednesday and Friday mornings at 10 a.m. Eastern time. So if you guys did not know that, now you do. And every Monday is typically pre-recorded, right? But I have episodes every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. Thanks for everybody that sent super chats. That helps support the show. That helps keep this engine running. Thank you for everyone that follows me on social media. If you don't, all the links are in the description. I'm on all the good platforms. Get on the email list.comeonmanpod.com. Get 20 dating app openers. Get a free chapter of my book. And then I'll also mail you some stickers. If you don't want stickers, just put don't want stickers in the address field, and I won't waste a stamp on you. Guys, get the book. If you guys go to books.comeonmanpod.com, that'll take you to the Amazon authors page where you can get all the different versions. Yes, it's available on Audible. So if you have an Audible subscription, consider using your next credit on my audiobook. RP Thor did the narration for that. You guys can also get autographed copies from me. The link's in the description for that as well. And I'm also dropping a link to that in the chat. Where are we at here? Guys, join the Beer Club. Our next meetup is tomorrow night at 7 p.m. Eastern time. We also have a very active Telegram community of like-minded men. So, if you're going through a breakup, you need help with dating, you want to swap some notes with some good guys that are all leveling up, join the Beer Club. You could join for a year. If you sign up for a year, it ends up only being $8 a month, right? You can't find a more affordable men's group in this space. I swear to God. I think if you join Rich Cooper's group, I think it's like $1,100 a month, right? $1,100 fucking dollars a month. Hard pass. Okay. And then if you guys want to work with me, you guys can go to coaching.comeonmanpod.com. You can sign up there. I invite you to watch the video there to see if working with me would be a good fit for you. And then if you're still not convinced, book a free call. There's a link to that at the bottom of the page. That's all we got, guys. We will see you on Wednesday.
This has been the Come On Man podcast. Now, go out and get it.